Every once in a while you see something in a video game that makes you think, I literally just shit my pants. Today we're counting down the top 9 scariest, most fucked up things that have ever happened in video game history. WarioWare Inc. Mega Micro Games. WarioWare Inc. Mega Micro Games is the first game in the infamous WarioWare series. WarioWare is a collection of short, simple microgames presented in quick succession. These microgames, which steadily increase in speed and difficulty as the player progresses, often include reused assets from other Nintendo properties such as The Legend of Zelda, Nintendogs, and even Animal Crossing. Somewhere hidden in the files for the game is a sprite sheet which features a naked Wario. But before you get too excited, Wario is rocking it out Barbie style, so fortunately we don't have to be presented with his probably disgusting and horribly smelly garlic bulbs. Ugh, take a bath, Wario. HalfLife Decay. HalfLife Decay is a multiplayer-only expansion pack for the PlayStation 2 version of Half-Life. Unlike the original game developed by Valve, which is groundbreaking in the industry, this port has been largely forgotten and was developed by publisher Sierra Online, who themselves were known for pioneering the video game industry with their classic series King Quest and Leisure Suit Larry. This Easter egg, though, unfortunately has less in common with Leisure Suit Larry and more in common with Stanley Kubrick. In the game, instead of playing as Gordon Freeman, you and a friend play as Gina Cross and Colette Green, two scientists who report back to Dr. Keller, a Black Mesa scientist in a wheelchair who provides you most of the missions in the game. However, despite being in a wheelchair, hidden in the files of the game is an unused animation and voice line depicting Dr. Keller standing up from his wheelchair and saying the following line.
Mein Führer, I can work!
Wait, what the hell did he just say? This line is a reference to the character Dr. Strangelove from the eponymous Dr. Strangelove or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb by Stanley Kubrick. However, despite being a reference to a beloved and classic film, the line implies that Dr. Keller is a, well, Nazi. Jeez, how many other scientists working at Black Mesa are Nazis? Gordon, I don't like the way you're looking at me. The Ant Bully. The Ant Bully is a 2006 video game released for the PlayStation 2, GameCube, Game Boy Advance, Windows, and the Wii, based on the largely forgotten and incredibly creepy movie of the same name. Ugh, no wonder nobody remembers this. A special shout out to Fart Cloud Swimmer for submitting this one through my website. This Easter egg can only be found in the Nintendo Wii edition of the Ant Bully. In the level Antagonizing Agony, if you manage to use the controller to get the camera just out of bounds in this exact area, you can spot what appears to be a hidden message. It's kinda hard to make out, but it looks like it says, "Fuck your mom for buying you this shitty game." What the hell? I guess somebody was pissed off behind the scenes, because why the hell would they write this? I mean, don't you want people to buy your game? Also, that's incredibly rude and ungrateful to say F you to mothers who bought this game for their children that they love and cherish. I mean, come on, she could have bought you nothing at all. SpiderMan III. SpiderMan III is a 2007 video game based on the 2007 film Spider-Man 3 and a direct sequel to 2004 video game Spider-Man 2, which is based on the 2004 film Spider-Man 2. The game was developed by Activision subsidiary Treyarch. However, the PlayStation 2, PSP, Wii, Nintendo DS, and Game Boy Advance versions were developed by largely forgotten developer Vicarious Visions. The PlayStation 2 version of the game, which fails to hold a candle even to the PlayStation 2 version of Spider-Man 2, was a critical failure and is a complete buggy mess. In the game, during the sewer level, when the player is chasing the lizard, there's a 1 in 700,000 chance that Spider-Man will turn around, look at the camera, remove his mask, and begin to tear off his own face. Oh my god. Come on, Spidey. The game's not that bad. Indiana Jones in the Emperor's Tomb. Indiana Jones in the Emperor's Tomb is a 2003 action-adventure video game developed by largely forgotten game company The Collective, who you may know for their surprisingly good 2005 Star Wars Revenge of the Sith adaptation. Interestingly, Indiana Jones in the Emperor's Tomb serves as a direct prequel to Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, which inexplicably in itself was a prequel to the original Indiana Jones. The game received mixed reception but was largely forgotten. That is, until 2018 when the game was re-released for Steam, where it currently sits with very positive reviews, most of them praising the port for its good performance and other ones just enjoying the nostalgia. However, some of the earliest reviews reveals that there was something disturbing hidden in the game that has later since been patched out. If you purchased the game in November 2018 within the first 2 weeks of release, there was a 1 in 1 million chance that during an idle animation, Indiana Jones would inexplicably pull down his pants and reveal his uncircumcised penis. Jesus, I hope this isn't accurate because that thing's tiny. Players who stayed on the screen for 5 minutes would be greeted with Indiana Jones beginning to masturbate his penis but being unable to maintain an erection. It has since been rumored that an undiscovered combination of button prompts would allow Indiana Jones to complete his masturbation, well, to completion. However, since no one has found this combination of buttons that has been discovered to make Indiana Jones jack off and ejaculate, I think we can safely say that this one is nothing more than a gamer's wet dream. Little Nikki. Little Nikki is a platform game developed by Digital Eclipse and published by Ubisoft for the Game Boy Advance, based on the film of the same name by Adam Sandler. The the game is largely forgotten and was not received well upon release. However, in the years since, the game has gathered a large online following concerning a few secrets found in the game. In the game, you play as the titular character, Little Nikki, in the film portrayed by Adam Sandler, who is the son of Satan. The game's plot largely follows the plot of the film, except a few interesting changes. Most notably, a series of minigames which can be accessed via the main menu by selecting on Visit Hell. In one of these minigames, called the Peeper's Fishing Hole, you play as the Peeper, who was portrayed by Jon Lovitz in the film. In this minigame, you play as Jon Lovitz collecting fish dangled by a fishing line held by none other than Satan himself. The minigame is incredibly simple and hard to control. However, it's hiding a disturbing secret that has gone undiscovered for 26 years. After collecting 7 fish, if the player enters the following button combination: up, down, B, A, right bumper, up, down, left, right, B, A, up, left, B, A, left, left, B, A, B, B, A, B, A, start, nothing happens. However, if the player does this 666 more times, this disturbing image will appear on screen. Yeah, I think I need to go change my pants now. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 is a 2001 skateboarding video game and the third installment in the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater franchise. Shortly prior to release, on September 11, 2001, one of the largest terrorist attacks in United States history occurred, which left several people injured and even some killed. Because of this, the Neversoft developers of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 were forced to quickly make changes to some of the game's levels. Most notably, in the airport level, the pickpockets were originally terrorists. It was up to the player to stop these terrorists from bombing the plane. And while it was removed from the game, that mission is still present on many demo discs which can be played today. In these demo versions of the game, if the player selects unlockable character Wolverine and proceeds to play the level, instead of stopping the terrorists, Wolverine actually joins them. And even more disturbingly, the game plays a cutscene which is eerily similar to the real-world events of the real-life September 11, 2001 attacks. Keep in mind that these demo discs were actually released before the terrorist attacks on 9/11. I mean, did the developers at Neversoft know something? Were they in on it? Star Wars Battlefront 2. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is a 2017 shooter developed by DICE and a sequel to the 2015 Star Wars Battlefront, which in itself is a remake of the 2004 game Star Wars Battlefront. The game was infamous upon release for its microtransactions and loot boxes, and a response from a developer of the game to a complaining fan actually holds the record for the most downvoted comment on Reddit of all time. In the map Naboo Theed in the game mode Supremacy, if a player unlocks enough points to play as Obi-Wan Kenobi and goes to this part of the map, Obi-Wan will pull out his lightsaber and proceed to commit seppuku. Well, lightsaber seppuku anyway. Interesting enough, if you attempt to do this while another player stands next to you as Yoda, instead of committing suicide, Obi-Wan and Yoda proceed to have uncensored hardcore gay sex. Damn, Yoda's bigger than I expected. Indiana Jones and the Staff of Kings. Indiana Jones and the Staff of Kings is another video game adaptation of Indiana Jones, this time developed by Artificial Mind and Movement, who has since gone on to develop the hugely popular series Dead by Daylight. Unfortunately for fans of the Indiana Jones series, this game was not received well by critics and was the last Indiana Jones adaptation outside of the LEGO adaptations in the upcoming Indiana Jones of the Great Circle being developed by Bethesda. Chronologically, the game takes place after the third film, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. In the Wii version of the game, in the first Istanbul level, after entering the tomb, if the player walks up to this wall and remains idle for exactly 37 minutes, Indiana Jones will pull down his pants and players will be greeted with a highly detailed model of Indiana Jones' penis featuring a botched circumcision. Damn. I guess now we know what Indy was getting up to between those movies. Using the motion controls, players can actually masturbate Indiana Jones' penis. However, doing so will cause Indiana Jones to take damage and eventually die before being able to climax. Damn, all poor Indy wants to do is get his rocks off. Wait, not those rocks. Look out! If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. And if you know about any more fucked up shit or things that made you shit your pants during video games, submit through oddhair.com. Come join the Discord or even send me a shout through Reddit or X. Shout out to Angel the Fox, Ash Photography, Bitwif27, Black Evie50, Chad Biscuits, Eddie Talkspin the Bleach Primid, Flex, Kieran Bolton, The Meatly, Phoenix157, Rackman22, Riley S, Robert Eisen, World Got Me Fuel, Select, Starcore2, Taryn Stock, and Towerizer for their Patreon support. Stay tuned.